When I talked to this man over the weekend, he said he wanted to roast somebody, and look what's on the docket this morning. Look what's on the
Snowman, do you need one of these this morning? Because I think you need to do it.
The International Italiano Super
You can put this in your videos.
Oh my god.
Let me answer Mr. McCarthy's question. No, because I got two of them in the fridge.
Fair enough.
One of them we brought back from Missouri.
It's 5 o'clock somewhere.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Well, Mr. McCarthy is here. What's the brew?
Well, the brew was Outsider from Invader Coffee, of course.
Mm-hmm. Invader Coffee is our hotline sponsor. Just go to invadercoffee.com, use the code Snowman, and you get 15% off of your order. Invader Coffee, fuel for the fearless.
That's right. If you love veterans, do you love veterans? Do you love your country? Of course you do. Get yourself some Invader Coffee.
Indeed.
Veteran owned.
Veteran owned, absolutely. Now, with that in mind, Mr. McCarthy made a request of me, and I will honor it. Get him.
This ought to be good.
Get him.
So I like to put an APB out for the commissioner of the Arena Football League, Lee Hutton III. Where are you? Where are you? Because, look, I grew up watching arena football, all right? My first arena football game was July 6th, 1990, between the Albany Firebirds and the Detroit Drive.
Mm-hmm.
That is where I learned the phrase, nuts and bolts, nuts and bolts. Boy, did we get screwed. That's where I first heard that term because of a bad call during a game between the Firebirds and the Drive. That team was put together in 6 weeks.
I remember.
6 weeks. And they managed to last 11 seasons.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Now, after I heard the Arena Football League was going to be relaunched, Arena League 3.0 going to be relaunched this year, I was excited. Initially, they didn't have Albany as one of the host cities.
Mm-hmm.
Eventually, they came around and, hey, Albany Firebirds are back, baby.
Yes.
Love it. Love it. So much nostalgia, so much power in that name in the capital region of New York.
And the Zubaz uniforms.
Oh, I asked about that. I said, when are you gonna bring back the Zubaz uniforms? We need a throwback night with the Phoenix helmet and the the Fleming Phoenix wings and the Zubaz. When I asked my buddy Jeff Levac, the team president, he laughed, but I knew he knew where I was coming from. He knew it was a throwback. But we had this league announced last year. Arena football's coming back. It's like, all right, cool. Arena football's coming back. Get the fans excited. You know, 16 cities. A few of them were absorbed from the Champions Indoor Football, which is now gone. But at the start of the season, things went kind of hicky. Hey, NFL Network, they're on board. Awesome. They recognize the power of arena football. They've broadcast games before. And then 2 days before the start of the arena football season, it was going to be the Orlando Predators and Albany Firebirds being the two teams that would face off on Saturday night.
Mm-hmm.
The league said, sorry, no can do. I figured, all right, it's a one-off. All right. They're going to play. They're going to be there on Thursday. That Thursday when Nashville came to town. What I thought was a one-off eventually became a trend. Eventually became, all right, NFL's just pulled out altogether. We're not going. I figured something was fishy.
Uh-huh.
Then 2 weeks into the season, the Iowa Rampage says, nope, we're out. we're done. After one game,
Wow.
they said, we're out of here. We're suspending operations. We're not going to play in the Arena Football League for the rest of the season. Granted, their players still honor their commitment, and they played at Southwest Kansas that Saturday. They maintained their commitment. They stayed on the field. I commend the players. I commend the players.
Yeah.
And then you have the whole mess. Well, a week before that was the whole mess with the Philadelphia Soul. Players getting kicked out of their hotels. Their owner pulling out, saying, "I can't do this anymore."
Ouch.
They're trying to find stable ownership. There were 4 players from neutral roster that made the trip to Louisiana, and the rest of it was from a one-off, like an AA, some sort of arena league called the Dallas Falcons. They played in place of the Philadelphia Soul, and they got stomped. They got mud stomped.
Oh wow! You said mud stomped.
I did say mud stomped. Hopefully, it's okay with Worldwide Radio Network. Hi guys,
you're fine. Fine.
But then last week on the radio, I hear on the local radio, because of because of Game 5 at the Target Center, the game between Game 4, between Minnesota and Albany got moved to Albany. Okay, cool. To cover another game, take more photos. And then Saturday afternoon, canceled. Game's canceled. Minnesota can't make the trip.
Huh?
Minnesota can't make the trip.
Oh my God.
And who knows how long they'll be in the league. But throughout all the mess, Philadelphia, I mean, their season was canceled. They stopped operations this year. They're gonna go back, and they're gonna come back in 2025. Provided there's still a league.
Right.
The Georgia Force, they withdrew from the league. They couldn't send their players home, so there was a GoFundMe set up to make sure players got home.
Wow.
The owner of the Billings Outlaws has openly called for the resignation of Commissioner Lee Hutton, who has been persona non grata a month before the season began. He's nowhere to be found. He is nowhere to be found. And now you've got Iowa, Philadelphia, Georgia, reportedly Louisiana is on the out. The Rapid City Marshals canceled their game with Billings as the Billings Outlaws were warming up on Saturday night. The player said, "I'll put the link in the private chat.
Please do."
Yeah, the Rapid City Marshals, one of the team they were one of the teams that was absorbed from champions indoor football. Their players said, "We ain't coming out."
What is happening?
I don't know. Which begs the question: where's the commissioner? Where is the commissioner of the league? Where is he? And here's the thing about this: the Minnesota team is owned by his wife.
And here I thought Roger Goodell was incompetent.
Oh no! I mean, I don't mind Roger Goodell. He's a milquetoast guy. He'll just do what the players say, and the owners say, and that's where it gets conflict of interest. But I feel bad for the players who signed up for this because they have no representation. Unlike the last league, the last iteration of the league, 2.0, 2.5, they at least had player representation. There's no representation. I'm usually not say anti-union, but I'm skittish about what unions do. But in this case, I would have wanted union representation as soon as I signed up, because this is awful. I feel horrible for the players in this league. I feel horrible for the players who signed up and said, "Yeah, we want to continue our dream. We want to keep playing football. We believe in this league." And now the commissioner is nowhere to be found. His second in command, the CEO, he's no longer listed on the website. Their media. Oh yeah, their media communications guy is no longer on the website. What is going on?
What?
What is going on with this league? And the most stable teams right now. Billings is stable. Albany's stable. Albany is too. The Firebirds have to wait 2 more weeks to go to their next opponent. They're supposed to play Nashville in a couple weeks. In Nashville, they're supposed to host West Texas. West Texas is supposed to play here. Like the 4 or 5 strongest teams in the league are privately owned, and I give credit where credit's due to the Albany Firebirds. My team, they're just concentrating on the field. Like they don't care who they play. Put them against anybody, they'll beat them. Happened against Orlando, happened against Nashville. Whoever they put in the field, whoever gets put in front of them, they're going to beat them. And some teams have committed, said, the Salina Liberty have said, we're not going anywhere. Okay, great, good for you. But I want to know I want to know why the commissioner, who's supposed to be the face of the league, who's supposed to represent the league, hasn't said anything, hasn't come out and said anything, hasn't gotten in front of all these teams folding, discontinuing, waiting till next year. And we're supposed to have 2 expansion teams next year. The Chicago Rush is supposed to be back, and the Arizona Bandits are supposed to play next year. What does that say to them when you're not coming out in front, when you're not coming out in front of the fans, in front of the teams, in front of the owners, and saying, we got problems. We've got problems.
This is not right.
This isn't right. And last week, we talked about it on last week's No Credentials Required. Dustin and I talked about it after we talked about our Albany Firewolves and our Albany Firebirds getting off to a great start. The Firewolves going to the NNL Championship, Game 1 on Friday. Albany, show up. You don't want Buffalo invading your arena. Show up.
Don't act like the Chargers or the Rams.
But
so my stadium.
But I gave a little grace then. But ever since then, we've seen Philadelphia say discontinue operations till next. Say we're coming back next year. We cancel the rest of our games. Minnesota saying we can't make it on Monday. We can't get flights out. Rapid City canceling their game, players refusing to come out. Georgia canceling the rest of their season. Where's the commissioner?
Did the clown just hijack the entire league? Because only everyone.
Listen, I happen to think the clown invaded his soul, his essence went into this commissioner's body, and has now invaded his body, and he's running the league like this. We saw what happened. We've seen this. We saw this movie last year in Albany.
Yes.
Now it's happening to the entire Arena Football League.
Entirely is like a virus.
So one of 2 things. I mean, either the commissioner got way out in front of himself, went way over his skis, decided to start big, try to get big things happen, and couldn't commit to those things happen, or he doesn't know what he's doing.
A mistake I've often
or
made.
And if you go to his Twitter account, he spelled commissioner wrong on his Twitter account.
Ugh.
So he has legal experience. Yeah, he can legal the heck out of me. He probably, although I will say I know more bird law than he does, but that's just Always Sunny in Philadelphia joke for those who don't know. But he has no experience running a football league. He has no experience in football operations. He has none of that experience, and it shows. He's nowhere to be seen, nowhere to be found. He's not putting his face out in front to say, we're doing all we can. We're trying. Stay with us. For those of you who have, those teams whose teams have left, I apologize. We're going to get this right. We're going to restart. We're going to do a reset starting today. Hard reset starting today. Nothing. Absolutely nothing. And the privately owned franchises are probably hanging in the wind somewhere. I can't speak for Albany Firebirds because I hear it every day on the radio because the team president's on the radio every day because he's part of a local radio show. So he's at least being upfront of what's going on with at least the Firebirds. But Lee Hutton, speak up. Come out of hiding. All right. Come out of your spider hole. Don't hide like Saddam Hussein because you know what's going to happen. You know what's going to happen. Right? No, this is no threat. This is no threat. But remember that South Park episode, Christmas in Canada, when they make all these laws and they say, oh, there is the spider hole. All these laws are null and void. Come out of your spider hole. Come out of your hidey hole. Come out of your hiding place. Talk to us. Talk to us. Talk to us fans. Talk to the league. Talk to those who are constantly on social media saying this league is a joke. Because right now it is a joke. And I say this as an arena football fan. I love arena football. I've watched it since I was 12 years old. This is not good. This is not good. This is not good for the men who signed up to play professional football. This is not good for the men who wanted to come coach. This is not good for the owners who signed up for this thing, believing you basically
they have a chance.
You told them you have a chance to succeed and to survive. You're selling them snake oil. You sold them snake oil.
Yes, you did.
And right now, it's not looking good. So either come out and apologize and say we're going to get this right, or resign. Now get up.
While I'm in the midst of choosing violence, as the gentlemen have said to me, and while I'm choosing a little pettiness as well toward a former friend, are the Oregon Black Bears still in operation?
Yes.
Damn.
Oregon's still. Oregon's actually one of the better teams in the league. Oregon, Washington, West Texas, Albany, Orlando, Nashville, they're still in operation. I don't know what's going to happen with Rapid City, considering the players didn't come out. They didn't come out of their locker room on Saturday.
Damn. Oregon's still alive. Damn.
Sorry.
Damn. Damn. The pettiness is real. Damn. Because I got screwed by someone involved with them.
Be lucky they're not playing Albany this year, unless they meet in the championship. Well, provide the league's still around.
Okay. I make a humble request of the old school Albany Firebirds. Should you meet the Oregon Black Bears at any time, put a foot in them, will you please?
Albany was going to run the table in this league this year. That was league consensus. It's like, this team is stacked. This team is stacked.
Oh yeah.
They're 14 for 14 on scoring drives this year. They have not been stopped by any defense.
And I saw the very first arena game in '87, which tells you how old I am. But yeah, I grew up with arena football also when you didn't have to tune into ESPN to watch it.
Right.
But then again, ESPN having control, ABC Chicago decided to give them the finger and said, okay, we'll play here. Very first game at the Rosemont Horizon when they played the Detroit Drive.
Well, I was going to say the Chicago Politicians and the Miami Vice, but that's the that was the test game.
Yeah.
I remember the Bruisers at the Rosemont Horizon. Ben Bennett.
Ben Bennett got beat up that year and still got his team to the championship game in the Rosemont Horizon.
Unfortunately, they ran into Art Schlichter, Tim Markham, the Detroit Drive, and they got.
And the final score of that game was the lowest scoring game of the year. Detroit won that game 24-13. After both teams came in averaging 50 plus points a game that season, we got held to 13 points. But Detroit had a defense also. And Ben Bennett was just so beat up, he couldn't crack that defense.
Yeah, and Albany, old school Albany Firebirds hold the record for least combined points in a game.
Yeah.
Their inaugural game was 16-12 against the Washington Commandos. I remember getting the paper that day, the next day. I was like, wow, that looked boring.
Not commanders, commandos.
Commandos. Now, I don't know if they're who knows if their players went commando that game. I don't know. I don't want to know.
Nor do I. Nor do I.
Oh, 6 God ads. We better read him before he has apoplexy. Excuse me.
When doesn't he have it? Even if we do read the ads, because he's too busy laughing.
Probably.
All right, take it away.
The beloved cat of Ryan McCarthy is brought to you as the proud spokes. Let me start over. The beloved cat of Ryan McCarthy is the proud spokescat for Wildcat Toys Inc. When Kitty wants to play, let the play be wild. Wildcat Toys Incorporated. And Ryan McCarthy is brought to you by Silky Smooth Creamer, the smoothest creamer for a full expression of your coffee. Silky Smooth Creamer, Silky Smooth Coffee. I'm feeling saucy this morning, man.
I can tell.
Man, everybody done woke up choosing violence today.
Everybody chose
I didn't choose violence. I chose love and peaceful and acceptance.
Not when
Not after the fire you lit.
Right.
Yeah,
And I got
say that out of
accused for
mere
choosing violence.
concern. I say that out of mere concern for my Albany
You
Fire.
compared
Mere concern with the steam coming out of your headset? Try again.
You compared the commissioner to Saddam Hussein. I don't want to hear it. That was villainous. That was the villainy of Espresso McCarthy.
Which we all love. All right, we're up against our halftime break, but thank you as always, my friend. We appreciate you so much, and we'll talk to you next Monday. Thank you.
See it, fellas.
Yep.